Is there a fear in the U.S. of China? If so, how will it shape bilateral relations and how should China react to it? Looking ahead in 2024, where does the needle stand between war and peace? Earlier, I talked to Li Cheng, professor of political science and founding director of the Center on Contemporary China and the World at the University of Hong Kong.
This kind of fear, mutual reinforced fear and animosity lead the world to a terrible position. But I should mention that Chinese leader actually, at least in their narrative, they don't want to go back to the Cold War. They talk about the common destiny of humanity. Now, some people may be suspicious about this thing, but at least China put in the right term. I hope that China will deliver, will really avoid this block thinking. I think that it's important to emphasize, China emphasize international multilateral institutions with the G20, APEC, and etc. It's not just to form other bloc to deal with the US-led bloc. China benefited from the international system, international order during the Cold War. Why you want to completely abandon it? But rather, I think China's view is to reform it, to represent the ever-changing world, but not to replace it. China has no intention to, I actually believe that, to challenge, to replace the United States as the biggest country in the world, the strongest country in the world. China has a lot of issues domestically and to need to deal with. But the point is that I think most Americans, they don't think this will be the case. When you become the top country, you probably will do the same things like we do. But I think that that's why we do need to study more about a country's culture, about the country, about the mindset of the people.
Why do you not believe that China will be like the United States when it becomes stronger? Meaning to dictate what others do, to make others be as China, or to take over the world, or to replace the United States as the #1 superpower?
I remember Larry Summers, former Secretary of Treasury and economic advisor, once said, you have difficulty, he said, we may have difficulty to imagine that China become very successful, US went down, become a terrible, terrible situation, or vice versa. So the point is that also echoed by Dr. Kissinger. He said, it's a very unusual in contemporary world, US and China are equally powerful. He cannot see, just like Larry Summers, that there will be winner or loser in that regard. If there be really loser and loser if the countries engage in war, that's completely challenge the Thucydides trap. Talk about there's only one hegemony, and they talk about the rapid change in the global economic political landscape. So two countries coexist along with the international community. It's not only possible, but it's already a reality. And so unless one country make a really terrible series of a mistake, I think that the equally powerful status will lead us to challenge this kind of Thucydides trap, then find a way to coexist in the using Dr. Kissinger's word, co-evolution.
Well, moving ahead, when we look at 2024, where does the needle stand between war and peace, or more war, or more peace, or return to peace?
Well, I think that this is a good question. I think that this year, at a time that China is also dealing with serious economic challenges, the country, how to improve its private sector, the worry is a key word. But whether this year will be confidence will be the key word, or regain the confidence will be for Chinese people is very, very important. So there's every reason China focus on domestic development and private sector development, and also, of course, China, in my view, will maintain security. But United States will have the presidential election. This is a very, very important event. I really hope that America really can resolve these kind of tensions to show the world American democracy can survive with all the challenges that the country faces. But if not, that will be a terrible thing, not only for United States, but also for the entire world. Because I come from background, do not see the world in a zero-sum game perspective. I think that what happened in the past few years, if the United States in trouble, and that the trouble will also cause some of the other problems around the world. The same things that China, if Chinese economy really continue to go so bad, it's not good news for United States and for many other neighboring countries. But fortunately, I think that the Chinese leaders still, despite their concern or about the security, still that they put a lot of attention, try to recover Chinese people's confidence. Now, it's hard. You do need to have more policy. You do need to stimulate the economy.
Right.
I think leaders work on that by visiting EU, by visiting stock market, by talking to business group. But on the other hand, I think Hong Kong is well located to be maintain global, at least the Asia financial center. And so these are things could come back very strongly at the moment. I think it's a challenge.
Yeah. Well, let's keep our eyes fixed on these developments, very important developments, and I appreciate very much, Dr. Li, your insights. Let's see what happens in 2024.